Ну чё притих, сука? Патроны кончились! Нахуй пошел!
They say there are no cowards at Antonov Airport, and this Russian war film is without a doubt the best interpretation of that saying. Before the movie was even released, the director himself had already fallen on the battlefield. The entire film uses the most iron-blooded battles to fully showcase real combat, delivering the rawest and most authentic depiction. On February 24, 2022, Russian forces received precise intelligence that Ukrainian troops had positioned 203mm artillery 30 kilometers ahead of the front line. Reconnaissance through electronic intelligence monitors and drones all ended in failure. Headquarters decided to send 3 squads, led by Polygon, Whisper, and Puck, to storm a high-rise building in the city center under enemy control. They had to seize this building within 2 hours. Polygon initiated the assault, first using the AGS 1730mm automatic grenade launcher. The yellow side, led by Snowstorm, quickly prepared for battle. After a round of grenade bombardment, both sides clashed in fierce offense and defense. The yellow side's concentrated suppressive fire prevented the white side from moving forward even a single step. To capture the building, they had to take out the machine guns, and the commander immediately called for the grenade team to deliver fire support. The yellow reinforcements were also blown apart by grenade, forcing them to cover their retreat with constant gunfire. The yellow troops on the second floor of Building 1 fought desperately against Polygon's assault. The white side's Puck squad launched a flank attack.
Полигон, я Леший, я на позиции.
Леший полигона.
Да!
Начинай накат. Как обстановка?
Фугас плюс! Работаю!
Фугас рангу. Атакующая группа находится в районе...
Seeing the white fighters rush forward, the yellow troops detonated preset explosives, blasting the lead attackers into the air. After repeated setbacks, the white commander requested tank support to drive out the enemy. A T-90 tank slowly rolled forward.
Леший! Это подорожник! Держу! Эвакуируйся, блядь!
The white side rescued their wounded comrades, but the yellow troops would not let them escape so easily, calling for mortar fire. The mortar battery, 3 kilometers ahead of the front line, adjusted its aim with the help of drones.
Это 2, мина в стволе! Наведено! Готово! Выстрел!
The 120mm mortars posed a severe threat to the white side. Polygon relayed the approximate position of the enemy mortars to the rear. Headquarters immediately dispatched drones for reconnaissance, and the coordinates were quickly sent to the artillery positions in the rear. Receiving the data, the artillery opened fire with 122mm howitzers. The first shot missed. With the drone's guidance, the artillery corrected the aim and soon destroyed the yellow mortar positions. Meanwhile, the T-90 tank and armored vehicles surged forward, launching a heavy assault on the yellow defenses.
Танк! Валим! Огонь!
The yellow side was already retreating step by step, but the battle had only just begun. 2 white armored vehicles unleashed heavy fire on the Yellow's temporary base.
Grenadier Buranov!
Grenadier there!
A Yellow grenadier rushed forward with an RPG, determined to strike back at the tank.
Чтобы отработать пониже, нужно подъехать поближе.
Локомотив, вас приняли.
The Whites' eastern flank was on the verge of collapse, and headquarters prepared to eliminate the shooter from above. At that moment, a rocket gunner targeted the tank and fired, blasting its tracks apart. As he tried to reload for another shot, he was ambushed by the White fighters. The gunner still tried to fire one last shot, but the tank's gun silenced him. Regardless of who was inside, the White tank fired another shell into the building. The Yellow's drone struck from above against the T-90,
Чем же ты так шумно?
forcing the mixed tank platoon to withdraw, but they had completed their mission, helping Whisper's squad break through the defenses.
Полигон! Есть пролом в здании!
Будем пробовать заходить.
Полигон, да. Добро, контроль западное крыло, соединяйся с лесом, как принял.
Under cover of smoke grenades, Whisper's squad rushed to the wall, tossed a grenade inside, and stormed in to clear the enemies. The Yellow fighters, recovering from the blast, fought back desperately. Both sides engaged in fierce close-quarters combat inside the building.
Граната! Дело!
Faced with a grenade, the exhausted Yellow fighters could only accept their fate. With the enemies in the west and north cleared, Polygon and Whisper pressed forward. At that moment, a drone appeared over the White artillery position. The commander ordered the artillery to evacuate immediately. But the Yellow's D-30 howitzers had already taken aim.
Огонь! Выстрел!
15 kilometers from the front line, the artillery commander decided to change positions to continue engaging the enemy. At the same time, Puck's squad stormed into a second building, where the fighting raged without a clear winner. As Whisper's squad debated whether the animal in the cage was a hamster or a guinea pig, they suddenly came under heavy fire from a White machine gun.
Откуда?
Yellow gunners on the rooftop operated 2 heavy machine guns, unleashing the firepower of an entire company, pinning the White fighters inside with no chance to raise their heads. The squad leader relayed the coordinates of the rooftop fire points to headquarters, calling for support. Grenades rained down, destroying the machine guns and the grenadier preparing to fire. Puck's squad kept fighting, the battle inside the building turning into a brutal fight to the death. One well-placed grenade wiped out an entire room. To ensure the base would not fall, the Yellow's Saman squad called in reinforcements and coordinated mortar fire with drones.
Огонь! Выстрел! Выстрел!
The White side could not advance another step. Now the countdown was at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 6 seconds, and they were required to capture 4 buildings within 2 hours. At 7 o'clock, Su-25 strike aircraft would launch as scheduled, and the buildings had to be cleared within 90 minutes so that gunners could identify targets and transmit aviation coordinates. If the building was captured only an hour later, all previous sacrifices would be meaningless. Headquarters ordered the artillery to stop retreating, and the 122mm howitzers opened fire on the spot.
Прицел 908. Готово! Огонь! Огонь! Идем, готов! Выстрел! Стой! Стой! Стой!
The Yellow mortar positions were devastated, and their reinforcements came under a storm of artillery fire. Then, the Yellow 152mm artillery joined the duel, sending heavy shells raining down on enemy positions. The the white forces refused to back down, unleashing Hurricane multiple rocket launchers to cover every area of the Yellow's 152mm batteries. Both sides exchanged a storm of fire, and the white troops waited inside the building for a full 10 minutes before attacking the third structure. Whisper's squad fired rockets and automatic rifles, storming toward Building 3. The defending Yellow side poured relentless fire, striking back without pause. After a fierce struggle, Puck and Whisper's squads burst into Building 3, where both sides clashed violently in the first-floor hall. The third squad, under machine gun cover, successfully broke in from the flank. Unfortunately, the soldier carrying the explosives crate was shot in the leg by a sniper. Seeing this, his comrade immediately laid down suppressive fire upward, while another threw a smoke grenade to block the scene and began emergency bandaging of the wounded soldier. But the Yellow shells gave them no time to breathe as the 152mm mortars launched a fierce attack. The morale of the white side dropped, and they had to restore their fighting spirit. Headquarters used drones to lock onto the enemy artillery positions and ordered the 122mm howitzers to fire at once. Just as the commander was adjusting the coordinates, a 152mm shell landed. They only glanced at it, then continued to fire. As expected, this shell hit the Yellow artillery position, killing their commander in the blast. Just as they were about to reload, the shell suddenly exploded. The white artillery completed their task and dragged away their fallen comrades as they withdrew from the area. Soon after, the white side once again used Hurricane multiple rocket launchers to unleash a storm on the Yellow artillery. The Yellow side suffered heavy losses and revealed their trump card, the 240mm tulip mortars. Guided by drones, they launched a fierce strike against the white 122mm artillery positions. This time, the white side suffered severe casualties, with 7 dead and 13 wounded. The commander immediately ordered special forces with infrared guidance to expand the airstrike targets. Meanwhile, inside Building 3, Polygon's squad was pinned in the factory with no progress. The last white soldier hurled a string of grenades with all his strength, and finally, they managed to seize the first floor. Another white squad entered through the side door and fiercely attacked the retreating Yellow forces. At last, Building 3 was taken. Immediately after, 3 white Special Forces squads turned their assault toward the 4th building. They successfully regrouped, with 29 minutes and 3 seconds left before the final assault. This time, they disguised themselves as the Yellow side and slipped through the blockade. At that moment, the white guidance team was spotted by the enemy. A chaotic melee broke out, and no one could tell who had shot whom. After a bitter struggle, the 3 white squads finally seized the 4 buildings, but holding them would be no easy task. Captain Puck gathered magazines and weapons from the dead, determined to build a one-man defensive line to stop the Yellow side from entering. Facing the dense firepower of the Yellow forces, Captain Puck resisted with all his strength. Then a soldier carrying an RPG fired straight at him. Under the assault of heavy weapons, the improvised defense was eventually breached. The Yellow side stormed into the first floor and cleared out the remaining defenders. The Yellow troops began pushing upward through the building. Time was running out for the white side. Polygon's squad charged upstairs despite heavy losses, but they were caught between 2 Yellow forces, attacked from above and below. Both sides engaged in a furious battle inside the building. Yellow fighters tied explosives together with grenades, climbed to the rooftop, and attached the explosives under the roof beams, blasting their way into the 4th floor. Meanwhile, the White Side's Whisper Squad escorted the guide Humblebee all the way to the 7th floor. The Yellow Snowstorm Squad was also racing against time, quickly advancing to the 2nd floor. The two sides clashed fiercely in a storm of fire inside the building. In the end, only 2 machine gunners were left fighting each other relentlessly. It was not only a test of skill, but also a battle of wits. The yellow gunner removed the ammo box, attached a short belt, then kicked the box out as a decoy. At the same time, he pulled out a grenade and hurled it toward the white gunner's hiding spot. The white gunner charged out with his weapon, only to be hit in the leg and collapse to the ground. The yellow fighter approached and fired several shots. When he came closer to check the white soldier's body, he realized the man was still alive. Another white soldier fought desperately against the 2 yellow fighters, firing his pistol after exhausting his bullets. At that moment, 2 yellow tanks rolled up and blasted shells directly into the building. The yellow tanks began tearing the building apart, but the white tanks had long been waiting.
Вражеский танк уничтожен.
MiG aircraft had received the coordinates and were already taking off. Another yellow tank surged forward, firing a shell into the rear of the white T-90. The T-90 damaged, quickly reversed while an infantry fighting vehicle rushed forward. Just as the IFV advanced, it was struck by a yellow tank shell. The white T-90 counterattacked, firing at the enemy tank. The yellow tank turret was hit, and it quickly reversed to avoid destruction. The white side would not allow it, reloading swiftly, this time intent on finishing the job. At that moment, Humblebee reached the designated position on the 7th floor, pulling out his equipment to guide with infrared. The MiG fighters soon arrived over the target, and Humblebee transmitted the coordinates. The jets unleashed a barrage. And the targets were instantly destroyed. Humblebee quickly packed up his gear and rushed to evacuate. When he reached the lower floor, he found that Whisper, who had shielded him to the end, had fallen. He reported this to headquarters. Of the 3 white squads, he was the only one left alive. After hearing this, the commander ordered him to head quickly to the evacuation point, where someone would meet him and ensure his safe withdrawal. When Humblebee reached the 1st floor, he discovered that Captain Polygon had survived. Though the white side had suffered heavy losses in this war, they were ready to keep moving forward. This is the Hell's vanguard of the Russian military. That is the end of the story. See you next time.